Hey guys, it's another cloudy and cool November day here in Kentucky, and today we're going to talk about this Polaris Ranger. I'm not really going to do a full review on this machine because I know there's a lot of those out there, but I just wanted to touch on a few things that I've noticed with this machine. This is a 2017 model, full-size Ranger 570. I got the full size on purpose because it has the 3 seat belts, and that way my wife and I can ride with our 10-year-old son and all ride together. This machine has 45 horsepower. You can look up all the specs online, so I'm not going to get into all that. But I just wanted to mention that a lot of guys are concerned about the 570 engine. Seems kind of small compared to how things used to be. But with the 44 horsepower on tap, this machine, in my opinion, has plenty of get up and go. In fact, I did a little makeshift drag race with my cousin who has a Ranger. He has a Razor 800. And we did a little drag race from a dig, and we were fender to fender. So these things are no joke. If you can't afford the bigger ones, the 900 or the 1000, don't be afraid of that 570 motor. It's got plenty of guts to get the job done. So let's get right into it here. One of the things that I've noticed, and I'll start off with this, is the shifter. Now I had a 2015 Sportsman ATV, had the exact same shifter on it, and I could not stand it. And it's even worse on the Ranger. And the problem with it is that it's very, very notchy. First of all, it's difficult to shift, and second, it's just very, very notchy. Sometimes it'll tell you on the indicator that you're in reverse, but you're not in reverse at all, and you roll away. Sometimes it'll tell you you're in low range, but you take your foot off the brake pedal and you start rolling away. Or sometimes you're in low range and you're driving and it'll pop out. So it's just really, really annoying. Now the first thing that came to mind was, well, maybe the shift linkage just needs to be adjusted. But you can fool with that all you want to, and these things are still going to be really notchy. And in fact, I even took it to the dealership, a very reputable dealership here in the area, and he basically told me straight up, he said there's not a lot I can do about it. It's a very common complaint on these machines. It's just a really notchy shifter. It takes a lot of effort. It's not real smooth. It doesn't engage very smoothly at all like some machines do. These Polaris shifters are just absolute garbage. I'm sorry, but they are. They're just garbage. I don't know why in the world for $10,000 they can't work on that a little bit better. But anyhow, that's the main complaint that I have with the machine. Something else I don't like is these tires. These are the Carlisle AT489 tires. These are the exact same tires that were on my Sportsman ATV also. And I don't ride these machines hard. I'm not one of these guys that wears these things out. In fact, this machine here has not even been to an off-road park. It's been used here on my property to haul some things. You can see I've got some junk in the bed right now. I just haul things around the property. On my ATV, I had 2 flats in the first 6 months. And on this machine right here, I've had it for a month. And it's got a flat tire on the front already that has a tube in it now. These things are just extremely flimsy. I'm not complaining so much about the traction because they are what they are. If you want more traction, there's tires available for that. I'm just complaining about the quality of the tire. They're just absolute garbage. It's almost a guarantee that you will have flat tires if you've got these on your machine. So if you're going to be on a really long trip through the woods, I would suggest that you take that into consideration. Maybe get yourself a spare or go ahead and invest and some good 6-ply rated tires. Now you may notice that I put some mud flaps on here, and the reason I did that is because if you look up in the machine, you've got a fuel tank over here. You've got all your electronics up on there for your fuel pump, and on the other side of the machine is where your electronics are, your fuse box up in there. This thing will focus. You got a battery, you got fuses, a computer, all kinds of things up in there. And what happens is the back tires will just completely trash all that stuff. Mud, rocks, everything gets thrown forward up under the seat and just trashes all that stuff. So I went on eBay and just bought some sheets of rubber here and just connected them to the body. And that way it kind of prevents all that junk from at least getting thrown up under the seat. I mean, it's still going to be a muddy mess back here, but at least all that stuff doesn't get up under the seat. That's something that they probably could have worked on just a little bit better also. One final thing I'll mention, you can see the latching mechanism right there for the bed. This is where the bed latches to the frame, and I noticed when I got this machine that it had a really bad squeaking noise. So you take off down the road and it would be squeaking like crazy, and I couldn't figure out what it was for a while. Finally diagnosed it as being that latch right there. Now you can see this strike plate right here that the latch comes into contact with. It was pretty tight on this side, and on the other side it was really loose. There's probably 1/4 of an inch of play on the other side. So what I had to do was take a big pair of pliers and grab a hold of that on the other side and bend it. And it took some force to do so, and you have to be very careful with that because you don't want to break that weld. But I had to bend it to where now the latch comes into contact with that strike plate on both sides, and it holds the bed down firmly. And that pretty much cured the squeaking and everything. But other than that, I haven't really had any problems with the machine. You know, I've used it around the farm to haul lumber, concrete blocks. You know, I've got my water hoses. My son has some golf balls back there right now. He's been kind of using it as a makeshift golf cart around the farm here lately, hitting golf balls. We pulled a little trailer with it. Got a utility trailer we pull with it sometimes. I'm going to be using it to haul trash down to the end of the road on trash day. Basically just chores around the farm and running the property lines, checking fences and things like that. Occasionally we may take it to an off-road park and go camping with it. So that's how we basically use this machine, and it hasn't given me any trouble at all. Like I said, it's got plenty of power. It's got a 9-gallon fuel tank, so the fuel lasts for a while. And one of the things I added to it was this canvas roof. I didn't want to pay exorbitant amounts of money for a hard roof, so I got that canvas roof. And the dealership, I hadn't seen these yet, but the dealership put that rear view mirror on there for us. Now this machine, see how many miles I actually have on this thing now. I'm not even sure. Alright, 19.6 more hours. I'll have to do another service on it. I've got 395 miles on the machine now, so you know, it's got a few miles on it, I guess. And I haven't had any trouble with it yet. No mechanical failures, no breakdowns, no axle shaft problems, nothing like that to speak of. It's been a pretty good quality machine. I took the side nets off of it to make it easier to get in and out of quickly. I do kind of wish that in the next iteration that Polaris would take this seat back and recline it backwards, give it just a little bit more of an angle, because if you're a tall guy like me, it's pretty uncomfortable if you're in there for a while. But all in all, I don't have a whole lot to complain about. I got this machine back in the summertime, so I've had it for more than a month. I've had it for probably 2 or 3 months now. I got it at the end of summer when the rebates were going on and the 18 models were about to come out. So I got a decent deal on it, and it's been a pretty good machine for us. So there it is, the Polaris Ranger 570. I don't think you can go wrong if if you're on a budget and you need a good machine to use around the farm. It's pretty decent at work and play. We've climbed a few hills with it, and it goes pretty well. I'll tell you what, that's something else that I really like on this machine is the 3-way switch here for your turf mode. Obviously you've got turf mode, 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive. I use that turf mode all the time because it really does save your grass. If you're using it around your farm, around the house or what have you, that really will save your grass from getting torn up. That's a great feature. They added standard equipment on the 17 models, so I really like that. Probably the next thing I'll do is put a winch on there. Make it a little bit more capable if we get it out in the snow or something this winter. But I'll do another review later on when I get more miles on it. For now, I just wanted to talk about a few things that I don't like about it and a few things that I do like about it. All in all, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. Thanks for watching, guys.